Good morning, Year 4. Well done for your excellent hard work yesterday and your fantastic emotive sentences. Today's lesson is all going to be about setting out our box it up plan so that we can begin to write our paragraphs for our own speech about fighting for the Roman army. So last week you were looking at Boudicca's speech and she was asking people to fight against the Roman army. But we're going to change ours because we know lots of facts about the Roman army. So we now need to pretend that we are the Romans and we're asking people to join our army. We're asking them to fight against Boudicca. So today I'm going to show you how to set up the box it up plan. It will probably be quite a long video because I'm going to go through how to set it up and what we expect in each of the boxes. But this is a really important video for you to watch today so that you understand what you need to do. And this is a really important step because without this plan, it's going to be more challenging to write your 2 paragraphs. So we haven't given you a sheet this time because in class we often write this out in our books. So I'm just going to show you how I'd like it set out. So using my pencil, I'm just going to do 1 line down the middle, make my boxes quite big, make it into like a cross. Doesn't matter if it's not completely even, all the way across, and then maybe just 2 lines at the top. I've gone through that quite quickly, but feel free to pause the video and start again so that you can see that. So once I've done that, I'm then going to just label each of my boxes. So across here is going to be paragraph 1, paragraph 1, and across here is going to be paragraph 2. You can just put P2, P1 if you want to. Remember, this is your plan. This hasn't got to be written out in lots of detail, but be careful with your spellings because you want to get them right this time round so that when you come to write your 2 paragraphs, it's spelled correctly. So down here then, for each paragraph, we're going to talk about the structure and what we want to see in each paragraph. Now, I'm going to do that today, and if you want to keep the exact same structure that I have, you're more than welcome to. You could almost copy that out in that section. Over here is going to be your vocabulary, so your words, and your phrases as well. So vocabulary and phrases. Now this is definitely the bit that you guys are going to have to do. It's no good just writing all the same ones as me, otherwise Miss Bradford and I will be reading all the same speeches, which is not what we want. So when I'm planning this, I'm going to look back at my Boudicca speech of what a good one looks like, and hopefully you've still got your copy of these. Now, although this is in 3 paragraphs, we're just going to focus on 2. So reading through this, first of all, I need to ask the men to fight against Boudicca. You can see here, I am asking you to fight with me against the Romans. Well, this time I'm not asking to fight against the Romans, I'm asking to fight against Boudicca. So in this first paragraph, I need to ask, and I'm just doing this in notes, to fight against Boudicca. And I'm going to put Boudicca with a capital letter because that's her name, and 2 C's. Okay, so in this paragraph I need to ask to fight against Boudicca. Now looking back at this again, she has described the Romans as vicious and soulless, so I need to describe Boudicca and I need to make her out to sound really horrible so that the men, the Romans, want to join my army. So I'm going to describe Boudicca. This is probably where as well I'm going to use some sort of exaggeration, aren't I, so that I'm making really clear just how horrible she is, okay? And I'm probably going to use that emotive language as well. I could make a note of that so that I don't forget, because this is a really good place to put all the skills you want to use. So I'm going to use emotive and exaggeration. Remember, it's just notes, so I know what this says. It might not make sense to many other people, but I know what that means. Emotive means emotive language. And again, I'm going to look back at this sheet. So, I can see they've used a rhetorical question here. So why don't I try and use a rhetorical question here? Because then I can tick off that skill that we've used. It's like in class when we use our success criteria. So the rhetorical question, which remember is the question which doesn't need an answer. It's got a lovely, obvious answer. It doesn't need an answer. So that's what I'm going to mention in my first paragraph. So now let's do the vocabulary for this one first. So I'm going to do my own vocabulary and then you can look at yours. I've got in front of me my emotive language word mat so that I can choose lots of words off of here. And you could also choose your emotive sentences that you wrote yesterday. You might just have to change those slightly to be talking about fighting against Boudica, not the Romans. So first of all, I'm going to ask to fight against Boudica. So I liked this bit here. It says, friends, Britons, freemen, lend me your ears. So I might say, I could use some of these again. I could say men, I'm going to put my commas in now so I remember, soldiers, men, soldiers, freemen. I've copied freemen from the other one, but that's fine. I've just magpie that. And I'm going to say, rather than lend me your ears, I'm going to say gather round closely. Gather round closely. That's going to be my one there. And so you can see it sort of follows the same structure as before, but I've changed it slightly. So I'm going to say gather round closely. Okay, so that's that bit. I've done that. Asked to fight against Boudica. Now I'm going to describe Boudica, and I'm going to try and think of some words that I want to use. So I'm going to look at this. Oh, I quite like damaging, actually, because I could say she's quite damaging to the other people she's around. So I'm going to pick damaging. So I'm going to say Boudica is damaging. Damaging. And I'm going to think of another word. Oh, and I can see on my mat again, it's got the word cruel. I would definitely describe her as cruel. So notice how I'm using my resources to help me, so that she's also cruel as well. So they're there. I can just make those in a note form because they are my vocabulary I'm going to use. Now I'd like to write out rhetorical questions so that I don't forget to use one. So again, I can look back at the text. It says, are you happy to let them carry on? No. But I'm going to do, are you, and remember if I use the word you, it sounds like I'm talking to them personally. Are you willing to sit by and let Boudica, remember we're fighting against Boudica now, are you willing to sit back and let Boudica take what is ours? Now be careful. Oh, that is a question mark, not an exclamation mark. Be careful, it's ours, not ours, okay? Be careful of that one. We've looked at that one a couple of times in class. So that's my first paragraph done. I've looked at making sure that I've got the vocabulary that I want and the phrases that I want, and these are the things I'm going to talk about in the first paragraph. Okay, let's look at the second paragraph. So, looking through the text again, in this paragraph, we can see that she's describing the army. So we're going to actually describe the Roman army. We're going to talk about how powerful we are. And this is a great way for you to use some of your facts that you sent in all about the Roman army. Again, I can see lovely rhetorical questions, so I might try and use one of those. And this one, I need to try and use exaggeration because I'm not sure I've done that well yet. And we also need to talk about what we are going to be doing. So in this paragraph, let's make sure we describe the Roman army. Describe the Roman army. Let's also make sure we use another rhetorical question. I'm just going to put RQ. Remember, this is for me to remember what I need to do. So if I put RQ and then I look back at my plan tomorrow, I notice, oh, that means I need a rhetorical question. I haven't used any short sentences yet, I don't think. So I'm going to put that on my plan as well, and I'll have a think in a minute what I want those to be. So short sentences. What else do I want? I need to exaggerate again, but I could remember that. And then also I need to mention what we're going to do, because notice here how it says we'll burn their catapults to the ground. Okay, so I need to talk about what we are going to do. So what the Romans are going to do. What we, and I keep saying we because I'm pretending that I'm part of this because it really helps me when writing it. What we are going to do. Perfect. So that gives you my structure. So when I write my second paragraph, they're the things I need to mention. But again, this vocabulary and phrases is a really important part, and this is the bit you guys need to do. So I'm going to describe the Roman army. I'm just going to come up with one piece of vocabulary. I'm sure you guys will come up with more. And the word I'm going to choose, how can I describe it? I'm going to choose regimented. Regimented. And regimented just means that they were really strict, they stuck to a routine, okay? You had to be really powerful and really disciplined, that could be another word, disciplined, to join the Roman army. So I might describe them as regimented. I could put discipline. Okay, now I'm also going to try and use a rhetorical question, and I'm going to try and get in a fact about the Roman army here that I learned. And I learnt this from you guys, and you were saying that they had to join the Roman army for 25 years. So I'm going to say who, because that's a good question starter. Who has an army that sign up for 25 years? And then I could reply to that with we do. We are the powerful ones. We are the disciplined ones. I could use that repetition of we are as well. So I might actually write we are there just to remind me that that's going to be my piece of repetition as well. I'm making really clear to my audience what I expect. Now I'm just going to try and use a bit of exaggeration now as well, because I'm not sure I've done that too much. And I'm thinking of a fact that you guys taught me, and that was that in the army, they were taking on armies 10 times their size. So they were really powerful, the Romans. I'm going to exaggerate that a little bit. And I'm going to say, we are the unbeatable ones. We have taken on armies, and I'm going to say, 50 times our size. Okay, that's exaggeration. That's not true. It was 10 times their size, which was really impressive. But remember, I really want people to join the army. I really want them to think that we are unbeatable. So I'm just going to put here, rather than write it all out, 50 times our size. Now I need to remember that when I write this out properly, I can't write 50 times like this. I need to write that properly, but there are my notes. And then I'm going to describe what we're going to do. So I'm just going to put for now, we must, and I'm going to let you guys do that one completely on your own. So what are we going to do to make sure we take down Boudicca's army? That's very much up to you, okay? Okay, that was quite a long video today, but it really goes through how to set this out. And the more you watch this and pause it and watch certain bits back, you'll notice how to set it out. If I was you, I'd watch it again now and maybe pause it after paragraph 1, complete that, pause it after paragraph 2. We look forward to seeing your work today. If you have any questions, please ask us.